Good morning from the CNET stage at CES 2015. I'm Rich Brown, Executive Editor at CNET. Joining me this morning are Cito Bellman from Chamberlain Group. I've got Rob Martins from Schlage Lockmaker. And over here, there's Chris Allen from iDevices. So thank you all for joining us here today. I really appreciate you coming out. So we are here today to talk about HomeKit, which if you're not familiar, is Apple's sort of brand new smart home interface coming to iOS later this year. They announced it at WWDC back in June. We saw sort of one slide that listed all the partners that are going to work with HomeKit, and now we're starting to see the first products kind of emerge out of that announcement. So I wonder if you guys can just kind of go down the row and talk about what products you have here that support HomeKit, and we'll take it from there. So Cito, you want to go first?
Sure, my name is Cito. I'm thrilled to be joining you, working for Chamberlain. We have expertise in the garage door opener space, and today at CES, we are announcing our Wi-Fi garage door opener, which will be HomeKit compatible.
Okay, so Rob?
Sure. My name is Rob Martins. I'm Schlage's futurist and director of connectivity platforms. We're very excited to be announcing the Schlage Sense, our latest new generation BLE lock that is slated to work with HomeKit and a number of other platforms, actually.
I'm Chris Allen, CEO and founder of iDevices. We've primarily been known as the grilling and cooking space developer of the iGrill and the kitchen thermometer. Today we've actually launched iDevices Switch. It's a smart plug that will work with HomeKit. It's in production now and will be launched in April. We're really excited about the HomeKit initiative and where it's going to take the entire industry, so excited to be here.
So Chris, you've got the props set up. Do you want to kind of go through what you have here and what it can do?
Sure. So in essence, you have, within HomeKit, we developed the plug. This is the iDevices Switch, so you can plug in any number of different devices to the product. We have a lamp here, obviously, so you can turn on and off your lamp, both locally and remotely. So if you utilize Siri within your home, you can connect and ask Siri to turn on and off a lamp. When you do that, it'll obviously do that functionality. We have timers that you can build in, so various timers, false presence. We integrated a night light into the front of the device as well. One of the biggest things that we've noticed, though, in the smart home market is the setup process, and that's really what differentiates, we feel, our product. Within HomeKit and the infrastructure that Apple built, we're able to really just plug and play. The product comes out of the box, you plug it into the plug, or into your outlet, I should say, and you enter an 8-digit code, and it automatically in the background to the consumer, it logs it in and registers it with your network, and you're off to the races. You can do a number of different functionality with it. We also embedded both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth Smart in here as well as Wi-Fi, so there's some additional functionality that we get out of that.
Okay, so Cito, MyQ has been out for a little while, right? And you guys are very open. You support, correct me if I'm wrong here, SmartThings. I believe you're on the Wink network.
Correct.
A whole bunch of different smart home platforms.
Correct.
Now HomeKit. I believe it's coming to MyQ via firmware update later this year. So if you already own one of these as a retrofit device, you'll be able to add the HomeKit functionality later on.
Exactly.
What does HomeKit do? What does HomeKit get you in the garage?
So with HomeKit, we have the ability to monitor and control and open your garage door opener from anywhere. So if I think about the use cases, I don't know how many times you leave your home, you go around the block and wonder, did I forget to open or close my garage door opener? With this product, with our new Wi-Fi garage door opener and the integration with HomeKit, now I don't need to worry any longer. I know right then and there, and I have that peace of mind that my garage door opener is closed.
But you can do that with all those other smart platforms as well, right? So
Correct.
adding HomeKit it's a logical extension. It's Apple, right?
Correct.
I mean, I think
Correct.
a lot of people want to be working with Apple.
Exactly, and it's about making life's moments easier, and this full integration helps us do that.
What specifically about HomeKit? So there's Siri functionality, right? I mean, I think that voice activation element is going to me, that's what's maybe most exciting about it. You know, I've only sort of started using Siri for text messages if I'm on the road or something, but saying, hey Siri, open the front door. Hey Siri, turn the lights. To me, that makes a ton of sense, and I think it will make sense to consumers when they kind of get how easy it can be to start using your smart home stuff in the way they're kind of meant to be used.
Yeah, I think that's a Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, when you look at the marketplace and when you look at all those different devices, having to go into an application and individual applications to do all these things is a pretty laborious process. You could probably do it faster manually to go over and turn on and off a light switch. So having the Siri integration really allows you to say, really just push a button and talk to it, or if it's plugged in and charging, you simply say, "Hey Siri," and it's going to go ahead and launch that product. That's really what got us excited about it, and then being part of this marketplace.
Same for Schlage. Our big draw was the talk to unlock functionality is fantastic, but everybody wants to access their lock in their home in a different way. So we try and provide as many options as possible, and we think this is a fantastic way to do it. You want to go key, you want to go keyless. You want to talk to unlock, you want to put in a PIN code. We have just a really robust variety of ways you can access the lock. And I think that's what people are looking for. They want flexibility, they want control, but they still want that security that we all expect. And that's one of the things that we're really focused on, and excited to be working with iDevices and Chamberlain. And we kind of almost think of it as the adults have arrived at the party. Do you want a software company creating your lock, or do you want a lock manufacturer with 95 years of experience creating that connected experience? And so we're growing our partnerships and doing that to continue to innovate. But we feel like this is a really exciting time for that flexibility.
So you mentioned security, so of course I'm going to pounce all over that. In particular with locks, and I think also with garage openers.
Exactly.
I personally like that you guys are open, because I think it embrace many different smart home platforms, right? I mean, it makes it easier if I'm a consumer and I just want to kind of get started with the smart home. I can buy a MyQ, or I can buy a Schlage lock, see if I like it, and then not regret that purchase later on if I want to buy something else that talks to a different network. It makes it just easier as a buyer. I would also imagine that the more networks you support, the more complex that security picture becomes. How do you guys, who has responsibility for that? Is it you guys? Do you rely on, say, SmartThings and Apple to take care of that picture? Talk me through that a little bit.
Well, I think from our perspective, the expectation for 95 years with the Schlage brand has been strong security, and now we'd like to drive that more towards innovation. You notice there have been a lot of new additions and frankly, disruptive messages and new companies coming into the fold. We've obviously had a connected product since 2009. We're a little bit conservative based on that. We want to make sure that every last detail, every last thing that we can control has been put in place to ensure that expectation, that level of security, whether it's a key or whether it's via electronic means. So anybody that suggests that anything is 100% foolproof is dishonest. Yeah. But what our commitment is to our consumer, and I know this is the same for Chamberlain, is that we're going to put you at the very top level from authentication, encryption. All the expectations are going to be met in terms of industry standard.
So just to echo exactly what you had said, at Chamberlain, our foundation is in safety and security. We've built that into our garage door opener space, and with Connected Home, we're extending that into the Connected Home space. There is no, we're not sacrificing that safety and security, now going to that electronic means.
So does that mean you guys are coming with your own encryption, or does it mean you're working together with the various sort of networking protocols and the various smart home platforms out there? Who's bringing the actual security tech to your products?
All I'll say is it's a team approach, and we take it very seriously, and it's key and core to what we do. If that lock's not secure, if that garage door is not secure, we're not doing our job.
Okay, fair enough. So we were talking about open before, Chris.
Yep.
So MyQ, or Chamberlain and Schlage, these guys they work on a number of smart home platforms. You guys have zeroed in on HomeKit there.
We have.
I understand the launch this year probably makes that logical, and branching out from the thermometer space, the thermometer space we've been working in, it probably makes sense to pick one too. But you've clearly picked HomeKit. I wonder if you can talk about that and sort of your thoughts on working with the other platforms out there.
Yeah, I mean, we're always open to working with other platforms. The truth of the matter is that we still are a grilling and cooking thermometer company. We have that business. Apple approached us last year to be part of HomeKit and kind of, build this product out, and we latched on to that. For us, the home automation market prior to that was very congested, and there was a lot of different platforms that you could go on, and it was very confusing to the consumer. And we felt, my personal feeling was that it was being forced integration into the OS. So whether it's Android or iOS, you were forcing that integration rather than having it come from the top down. So when Apple offered the opportunity to create the framework within the iOS that's going to address some of the security issues, bring in some, I'll say, organization to some of the chaos that was out there for the consumer. That's our biggest concern, is when we launch a product, we want the consumer to be able to pick it up off the shelf and know 100% that it's going to work with whatever phone or tablet they have. And that's some of the confusion that we've even had in the grilling space and the cooking thermometer space, where not every Android device had Bluetooth Smart out of the gate. So we had to really be very cautious when we launched into Android with a Bluetooth Smart thermometer, because the last thing you want as a business owner is to have somebody buy a product, get home, realize it doesn't work, return it, and then write a bad review about it. That's the death nail of any business. So we're extremely focused on the user experience, and that's been our focus all the way through, especially on Switch. It's out of the box. This thing has to work perfectly and be very easily integrated, and that's how we feel we're going to get broad breadth adoption in the marketplace. It's great to be first. There's also the caveat that when you're first, there's an education process that has to go on, and you can't support everybody and make everybody happy. I'm not here to be the guy that makes every single person in the marketplace happy, but anybody who buys our product and is using an iOS device should know that it's going to work perfectly, and it's going to work 100% of the time, and we're going to stand behind it.
All right. So, what was I going to ask? It just slipped my mind. Are you guys going to stay HomeKit exclusive then? Is that sort of like where you're planting your flag?
No, I mean, obviously for launch, we're HomeKit exclusive. We will branch out as the opportunity arises. We do have a relationship with Google in the Android market, and we're more than happy to continue to develop products under that. We are not, we're a smaller company. We're by far the smallest of the group here, with 60 folks, but our goal is to create really great products and less of them, but make sure that they're the absolute best product that we can develop. And so to that end, we pick and choose where we're going to go very carefully, so that because we don't have the resources that some other companies have to kind of go in many different directions. We're very laser focused, we'll say.
To that note, I think you see a lot of co-opetition and other things, but what we're also finding at Schlage is the partnerships we're finding are extremely beneficial, and we're pulling and pushing each other into markets that we've never been in before. So I think that's one of the most exciting things that we're starting already to see at CES 2015 is there are a number of relationships out there that are even a little bit unexpected, and we're actively looking for those too. I think the ability to be open, I'm not saying you want to be Switzerland. I mean, we're a grade 1 security lock. We have these expectations just like Chamberlain does with MyQ. But when we can find companies like iDevices that have a creative, innovative core that can help us move forward and move us into different spaces, we're going to take a hard look at that.
And echoing what these two gentlemen said, we are excited at Chamberlain about this partnership as well, because similar to you, our focus is relevant, intuitive experiences right out of the box. So giving those users solutions that make their life easier, and giving them solutions that they can use every day.
Yeah.
So I'll say I've enjoyed covering smart home stuff because it lets me interact with companies I never would have normally. So Chamberlain and Schlage, right? So I certainly wasn't writing about garage door openers before, but I'm weirdly excited about it now, maybe. I don't know. So at a certain point, though, both of you guys, as sort of long-established companies just in home goods space, must have decided we got to get into this smart home game. How did that process happen within each of your companies? What was there one trigger, or was it sort of a slow build?
Well, I can speak for Schlage. Walter Schlage, the original founder of the brand, actually has patents going back into the early 1900s in terms of a light and a lock. So it's in our DNA. But again, I think what we're focused on is the consumer and giving them what they're asking for. And what we're seeing is that consumer interest, like you're saying, in some other things, really ramp. And I think in our case, because of we have such an important place in the home, and it's a sacred place. The entrance and egress of your home is a critical thing, and that's not something that can be taken lightly. We tend to be conservative. We want to get it right, 100% right, all of the time, then make the introduction. So I think the perception may be at times that hey, these guys might not be innovating at the same pace. In reality, we are. We just need to get it 100% right. That expectation is so high. It's not just the device is going to work 99% of the time. It needs to work 100% of the time.
And at Chamberlain, we are focused on we're concerned about solutions that focus on the coming and goings of the home and making sure consumers have the expertise or the experience that they need in their everyday life. And that's what we're doing at Chamberlain and bringing that into the connected home space. These are solutions that they are looking for, and so that's our focus there.
So, Chris, the first HomeKit product, the first sort of non-thermometer product you've come out with is a plug. And so it's kind of a commodity product, right? I mean, there are a lot of other smart plugs out there. I think we even saw a couple more HomeKit plugs announced this week. You guys are also in relatively mature markets here, right? I mean, there are a lot of locks out there. I know Chamberlain is a leader in garage openers, but there are a lot of other companies out there. So there's a lot of exciting tech behind the smart home stuff, but the base products are often pretty commoditizable. How do you fight that off? How do you stay relevant as a Chamberlain brand or as an iDevices brand?
Sure. I mean, in the beginning, we looked at the product space, and you're right. There's other plugs that are smart plugs that are going to come in the HomeKit market, and whether we're exactly first or we're one of the first, it's irrelevant to us. I think what the game changer is that we are an established company. We're a company that you can trust. We have fantastic customer service. We stand behind the product. Those are the game changers when you look at really keeping a product relevant in the marketplace and winning out the market share. Our distribution is global. We have a lot of distribution throughout North America, and so we're not just an online company. But when we looked at this, we originally said, wow, we're doing a plug. Not really exciting. But the exciting part for us as we really researched it and looked at it is it's easy installation, no wiring, no pulling off a thermostat, no offense, but no taking apart your door. There's nothing else that you have to do. It's just plug and play. So that makes it a very easily attainable product for virtually any consumer. The second part, we brought in a price point at $49.99 that's really aggressive and that's able to capture a large segment of the market. And then what we did is, because we develop everything internally and everything is done soup to nuts within iDevices' four walls, we really focus on the app. And the application side is really what the user experience is day to day. It's great to plug in a product or put in a garage door opener or a Schlage lock, but at the end of the day, the consumer is going to interact with the device through an application. So our application is really what we're hanging our hat on, and the development of that and the launch of that you'll see over the next coming months is really what we think is going to differentiate us from a lot of the players in the space, because we're not just a software maker like he said, we're a software and hardware maker that was born in this space and has grown through this space and again does it all in-house. So that's the exciting part for us. You're going to see artificial intelligence come into the application. You're going to see a real host of different things that are going to blossom that will kind of surprise the consumer, at least from iDevices.
Another thing I would add to Chris's point is, hardware is really hard. This is one of the things that we're seeing coming through. I won't name names, but you see a lot of people that'll make an announcement and they, come out with something and then it doesn't appear for a long period of time. But we get hardware and we get these things, and I think when you look at the the iDevices product and you start to look at ours, because we get the hardware portions of that, it allows us to start to stretch a little bit. And so we're really focused on the style and design of the locks as well, and what you can expect from Schlage moving forward, not only the electronics group, but on our traditional locking is much more focused on style, design, and all those things that I think consumers are, we want to have something that the consumer lusts after. We want to satisfy that need, and so we want people to start thinking about their doorware in their home. Bright brass isn't necessarily what the first impression you want to get when you walk in that home. And so we're seeing not only the tech pull, but that style pull as well. And we're excited about that. That's another thing that energizes us.
And similar to these gentlemen, our consumers are very important to us. They are at the foundation of the solutions we bring about. So at Chamberlain, we have expertise in the garage door opener space. We have products and solutions that are built on safety, security, quality, and reliability. We want to assure our consumers that we bring that into the connected home space, and that's what we're doing with all the solutions we bring.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. We look forward to seeing your products and reviewing them later this year. Hopefully, you get some stuff out to us.